Ladies, gentlemen, it's GTA, man.
What a great start. Right, anyway, so Sonny uploaded a video last night, or yesterday rather, where he made a fan-made trailer, I guess you could call it that, or concept trailer of how PUBG would work in GTA Online. Now, it looks really good, and I'm pretty sure most of you have seen it so far. If you haven't, check the link in the description, watch it, come back so you have actually an idea of what we're on about. So, what I thought would be a good idea, yes, we have this concept trailer, but how would it work, and kind of like see Sonny's vision with it, and also, you know, when we're kind of discussing it in a way, and kind of see what you guys think as well. So maybe we can also get the idea over to Rockstar, maybe they like it, they, you know, make a little bit of something, maybe an adversary mode or a simplified version of it, because getting an all-out skilled war on the scale of PUBG in a GTA Online environment with only 32 players would not really work out that well. There was a map not too long ago submitted to the custom job showcase which had the inspired idea from PUBG, but it didn't necessarily work so well because it didn't have all those things that PUBG have. The map was relatively simple, you had a couple of weapon pickups, but overall it felt a little bit unbalanced because of the spawns as well. It was an LTS, but it didn't come quite close to what PUBG actually is. Now, me and Sonny, we play PUBG pretty much every single day, and yeah, we're probably addicted to it, I should say, are we? Yeah, probably.
A little
A
bit.
little bit. Let's just hand the mic over to Sonny and like kind of get his idea of how he would see it.
All right, so the basic lowdown of this all is that you start off, of course, in a plane, and you drop in on a certain area of the map in Los Santos. I think covering the entirety of Los Santos would never work because it's simply way too big for the 30 players that the next-gen consoles and PC have. So that's not going to work, obviously. So in my trailer, I showcased Paleto Bay. So let's just take that as an example. You could drop in the entire like Paleto Bay area with the forest included. And you start off with basically the entire area, and there's a large circle around it. And obviously you cannot go outside that circle. If you go outside it, you blow up. So to explain the premises real quick, it is basically last man standing. So you fight each other until there's a last man standing. The way I see this is that there's a buy-in as well. So you buy yourself into that tournament for 20,000 bucks. After that, you get dropped in. The goal is to find weapons, attachments, armor, all that good stuff, and then you go ahead and kill the enemy team. So weapons is pretty obvious, and I think there should be. I was thinking, like, I want your opinion on it. Like, should it be tiered weapons, or should crates have like specific kits, like specific weapon sets?
Well, maybe it would work this way, because you have obviously different tiers of weapons. Like if you look back at GTA 4, you had, if you were using cheat codes, you have like tier 1 and tier 2, and tier 1 would be like the assault rifle, and tier 2 would be the carbine rifle. It could probably work the same way in, you know, the PUBG version of GTA. You could have drop weapons laying around the map, like for example an AK, which isn't that good of a weapon in GTA, at least not in PUBG, and in the crates, you could have weapons like a special carbine and a carbine rifle, which are a lot more accurate and a lot better in a way. Or the combat MG as well, like you already have that in PUBG 2, where you have like an LMG as a special weapon. Same thing for snipers. You could have the normal sniper laying around on the map because it's not that powerful, but you can have this heavy sniper or the marksman rifle in crates. Like you could solve it that way.
Yeah, that's interesting. That could work. The other thing is that is very important to me, if Rockstar were to create this game mode, the entire thing is that you're really there on your own. So you don't have, well, you do have a mini-map, but obviously the enemies do not show up on that mini-map. That's very important to me. However, like the main issue that you'll come into and run across is that you have a lot of campers, obviously, people who use camping maneuvers. And in PUBG, that would not be as big of a problem as it would be in GTA Online, because the camping in GTA is really vicious with corner camping and whatnot.
Yeah.
You could get dropped instantly. So the way I saw it is that you cannot spend too long in one area. Like it's a small like radius. If you keep hovering around that radius, you get marked for like a split second on the minimap. and then everyone will know where. Hey, shit! There's a guy over there, so we gotta be a little bit careful over there. There's a camper. The other thing that should be marked, in my opinion, is whenever people get a vehicle. Vehicles should be in the game as well to get from point A to B fast. Obviously, you'll be at a big disadvantage as soon as you step into a vehicle because you can't defend yourself properly. If there's one guy with sticky bombs or grenades out, then, well, you're pretty much gone. But that's like another interesting thing I'd like to see in it.
Yeah, that could work for sure, because that marked thing for standing still is already in the VIP game modes as well. So you're naming stuff which is already in the game, which is another thing that you've mentioned to me privately too. All the stuff and all the ideas you have is already in the game, so it is definitely possible to get this thing off the ground. Like, for example, the circle is already a thing in Sumo, for example. So the opportunities are there, whether it's Rockstar or it's actually a modder which would implement it, which I'm pretty sure people are already working on. But an officially supported one by Rockstar would obviously work better, because then you actually can be somewhat assured that it's going to be a certain type of quality.
Yeah. So the only thing that might be a slight issue are the attachments. The attachments in PUBG are a huge thing, of course, because they buff your weapon, and they are probably, I think, in my opinion, it's probably the most fun thing about the entire game. Like, it's not finding the weapon, but it's kitting that entire weapon out. And in the end, you're like, yeah, dude, I got a fully kitted out M416. I got the scope. I got a silencer. That's the awesome bit. So in GTA, all the models for every attachments are like loose things in the game already. You have scopes that you can find. You can, like, in one of my videos, I actually place down an SMG with all the attachments just as standalone items around it. So that is a possibility. The only thing is, and that's something I'd like to run by you as well, is what exactly would these attachments do? Because obviously a silencer would silence your weapons, but the other thing I had in mind was it increases or decreases certain stats to keep the playground like level. Like a scope, you cannot, I don't think there is a possibility that you find a sniper rifle without a scope, because the whole thing always has a scope. So what do you think attachments should do?
Well, attachments in GTA Online obviously do something, like a grip makes it more accurate and stuff like that. And for scopes, with the normal and normal and heavy sniper, you can get an advanced scope which zooms in more and is also a bit more clear. So it could work in that way. Obviously, for the marksman rifle, you only have the default scope, but it's also kind of more like a semi-auto or auto rifle, depending who you're asking. So the attachments could be a play in it, but for assault rifles and pistols, scopes don't really do anything. I mean, for assault rifles you can zoom in further, but unless you're using first person, which, well, let's be real, that's not really too much of a good thing in GTA Online, because you kind of get the sniper dancing and shit like that. They don't really do too much. So attachments could be an interesting one. Maybe it would even be a good idea to just have bare weapons. I mean, you're probably gonna go towards the H1Z1 type of deal more, but I don't know. It's a difficult one, because GTA Online doesn't necessarily have that certain type of in-depth when it comes to attachment. I mean, suppressors could definitely be a thing. I mean, they reduce recoil, but they also reduce range. So it's always a trade-off, and you can still hear them pretty clearly whenever they're being fired. So, because that's another thing, sound. Like, GTA Online obviously has footsteps. You can hear them pretty okay. And when it comes to vehicles, I think you can hear them pretty clearly too, but it really depends on the vehicle. I mean, if you have a muscle car driving by like the Dominator, you can hear that from a mile away. But if it's a Voltec, you're screwed.
Yeah, and that should be a huge part of any Battle Royale game as well. It's always about sound. It's always about hearing the enemies, hearing where gunshots are coming from, so you can pinpoint certain locations. That's what keeps it exciting. So the main thing that should keep this exciting, in my opinion, is the $20,000 buy-in.
Yeah,
a lot of people put a lot of money on the line, because in the end, GTA Online is not that same, like, adrenaline-driven shooter that PUBG or King of the Kill is. So there needs to be something else on the line, and $20,000 is a lot of money.
Yeah, it's kind of like the premium race concept. I love that about premium races.
Yeah, exactly. That's a very, very dope thing. And in the end, if all those people buy themselves in with $20,000, there is a lot of money on the line for the first player who wins it as well. Like, that's another thing. Like, yeah, people really want to play this because there is a prospect of winning a lot of money, while at the same time, people have to spend a lot of money. So that is pretty interesting for Rockstar themselves as well, for shotgun sales, etc. Because only one person out of all the 30 people is going to walk away with a bit of money, and the rest are losing a lot of money.
Yeah, but if everyone is buying in 20k, how, and you know, with 32 players, how much is that person going to win?
I'd say, well, of course you have the obvious, the entire buy-in, so that should be 30 times 20 is 600,000. So let's say, obviously not say not 500,000. So let's say the tournament, for whatever reason, needs to take their cut. In my trailer, I said there was like certain expenses. So let's just say the winner walks away with, I think a reasonable amount would be 250,000 bucks.
Yeah, I was thinking the same, like 200k, because for premium races you get 100k. So I mean, obviously you have to count for your buy-in as well. So you would get like 180k, something like that, you know, in profit. Which would be pretty reasonable, because you gotta have to think about it too, that a match like this would take like, what, half an hour at least?
Yeah, depending, I don't know, depending how big the map is. Of course, there's not a whole lot of people, so if there's people playing quite campy. Let's say that the match could take up to half an hour, with the circle included. Like, the circle sets the pace of the game. So let's just say when the circle gets that small that you're actually forced to have a 1v1 battle with whoever's left, yeah, that takes exactly 30 minutes. So, yeah.
Speaking of battles, here's might be another good one. Assisted versus free aim. Because council's obviously a thing.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you were doing assisted aim, then, you know, it would be a completely different battle than a free aim.
I'd say if you do this game mode, it's going to be like a die-hard game mode for die-hard players only. So it's free aim only. There will be no assisted aim, assisted free aim, nothing.
Glad we can agree on that.
Yeah. That should be the case. Like, people should be practicing for this. They should be getting better at the game. And not expect just to walk in and fucking free aim assisted or whatever that bullshit is, and then just walk away with a shit ton of money. No.
Yeah, that's another thing. Free aim assisted.
Well, there must be a way, right? There must be a way for Rockstar to lock this down to free aim only.
I don't know. Although, I guess it's maybe it's so buried in the game because they haven't fixed it yet. I mean, free aim assisted is still running rampant. I mean, ask that guy with the funny biker accent.
The guy from Boston.
Boston. Shakat.
Shakat.
Love you, Dirty. Please don't kill me. Thanks.
Yeah, but like all in all, this game mode is very much possible. So just to explain it real quick once more, you drop into a massive arena covering like entire Paleto Bay. There's a circle that gets smaller over time, pushing contenders towards each other. You got to find weapons, you got to find attachments, you got to kill all your opponents. Last man standing walks away with $20,000, and it is all possible. It's all in the game already. In my opinion, it should be really freaking fun, and it should be very suspenseful as well, because there's a lot of money on the line, as I said.
Yeah, I think, but also you probably kind of run in the how should we put this? Problem that people are going to get very salty about the fact that they lost 20k, and how are they going to respond to that? With PUBG, you don't really have that. It's like, oh shit, I died, whatever, next round. But with the 20k buy-in, with a lot of people maybe also having a couple of rounds lost behind them, it might also turn a bit more campy and a bit more scummy, I guess. Because as always, there's money on the line, and if you have played premium races ever, probably not, because you don't really play the game anymore, you would know that...
I have.
Oh, you have? Okay, cool. You would know that whenever it was still on contact, people would stop at nothing to ram you off the road and make sure that they would still keep their 20k and maybe some profit as well.
Yeah, but Dirty plays... whatever your play style is, in the end, it's free aim. Yeah. But at least that will be awesome. So yeah, there has to be a certain level of skill involved for starters. So in that regard, there is not like there is a skill gap, and I think skilled people can outshoot scummy people who camp, and especially if we make it as hard as possible for them to actually camp with them showing up on the map and whatnot. because that should be a real issue. And besides that, the circle forces people to go each other as well. They force people to keep moving.
Yeah.
And campers are probably not that great of a shooter, and if they are being like caught out on the middle of the streets because they have to stop moving around, then they'll probably get picked off anyway. That's how it is in PUBG as well. In PUBG, you got campers. And those guys, most of the time, remember that guy last time when we played, when he was sitting in the corner, we fucking shot the shit out of him. He thought he was slick, he had nothing. Nothing! But like, I think it could work. I think it would be an amazing game mode myself.
Another thing that popped in my head, grenades and sticky bombs, because in the new gen version of the game, you can just throw them whenever you're aiming your gun. Should it be an option, you know, within this game mode too, or you think they should kind of find a way to remove that?
Yeah, I think, like I mentioned, using grenades to stop certain vehicles, but no grenades, no sticky bombs in the game, to be fair, because sticky bombs could fuck up everything.
Yeah.
Because, especially in the last circle, if you got lucky and you find 5 sticky bombs, you just place them all around, and your opponent can't go anywhere, so that's
proximity mines and all that stuff.
Yeah,
you're just like, alright, let's just wait until he gets out, shall we?
No, exactly, so that's never gonna work.
Molotovs could be working, though. That would be alright.
Molotovs could be really fun, yeah. Like that's why the whole reason why I use that in my trailer as well, because Molotovs, especially like if it ends up in a grassy zone, could be really interesting because the fire actually spreads in GTA, which is really cool, by the way.
Also on wood and all that, so you could be flushing someone out of a house or whatever, or like a place they're hiding, which or tear gas could also be a good thing.
Yeah, that's like those are perfect things, to be fair. Like, but not explosive grenades.
No, because especially because you can just throw them whenever you're aiming. It just end up being a grenade battle.
Yeah, same goes for rocket launchers, obviously, and grenade launchers. All that stuff should not be in. And anything, I don't know whether the Mach 2 weapon should be a thing as well. It could be, but
they're not that much powerful, and that's much more powerful than the regular version. So you could either go with one of the two, really.
Yeah.
I mean, the Mark II obviously have more options too. And that's another thing. How about like the different bullet types that have been recently added in the gunrunning DLC? Like the full metal jacket and all that stuff. Because if you have someone in an armored vehicle, not that it would be a thing obviously, but you could just shoot through it. And explosive bullets, you know, probably get rid of those because that would not be too much of a good idea, I guess. But the different ammo types, like incendiary or whatever, you know, it could work. You know,
incendiary is kind of shitty as well because as soon as you get hit, you flop on the ground and you're done for. So
if you're using your engine, yeah. But I'm just strictly thinking GTA 5. Because if you're, you know, in GTA Online, at least, like with the engine, you know, obviously you used, in your trailer, you used the GTA 4 physics engine. But in GTA 5, you can just continue on walking, no problem.
Oh, I see. All right. Yeah, exactly. I used Euphoria freaking engine physics.
Yeah.
I didn't know. I don't know. I thought it was. I thought as soon as you got hit by those, then you got like. You're just
flopping
around like an idiot.
No, you just set on fire and you could just continue on shooting. So I mean, it could be one of those things that you can find in crates, but are relatively rare.
Yeah, exactly. There should be that prospect as well, the aspect of the game that there's a certain amount of really rare weapons in there as well. And if you find them, like you're not set, but obviously you get a huge advantage. So the heavy sniper, for instance, will be pretty cool if you're good with it. Or the marksman rifle, I think that's probably the best weapon you could find.
Yeah, well, it depends on how you use it. You know, it's quite powerful in the right hands, and especially if you're sniper dancing, then yeah. I mean, the heavy sniper, obviously, especially the Mark II, and that's another thing that should be in play too, because the different ranks, because lower ranks have lower health than higher ranks. And
yeah, I think to be fair, like it should be an equal playing field health-wise. There's no ranking system, whatever. Throw that out of the window. Equal playing field, maybe even buff the health of everyone, so you got more health. So you can stand on your feet a little bit longer and fight. Why? Because if you get jumped from behind, it would suck that you instantly die. You can't even turn around. Even in PUBG, there you have like an opportunity if you get hit once from like a distance to turn around and spot the enemy or get in cover. Obviously, laying down is not a thing, but that's why I think not only should they get rid of that entire health feature that lower rank people have, like less health, but they should actually buff the health as well and buff armor effects as well, so you can stand around and walk around a little bit longer.
I think there could also be a bit of a problem though, because I think it's so deep programmed into the game. I think the best solution to that would probably be to have like a certain rank, at least like a rank 100 or whatever, until you're actually able to get into the game mode. Because if you have a rank 1 join, one sniper bullet from the heavy sniper and he's dead. Like I believe under rank 90 it's always a one shot, one kill, compared to rank 100 where you should be fine.
Interesting. I don't think it's buried that deep though, to be fair, that thing, because there's a lot of game modes out there that change health stats. Like
yeah, but like
what's
Juggernaut,
that one?
Yeah,
like
exactly. Juggernaut and all that stuff for sure. But I don't know if that's necessary. But it's via pickup though, and not necessarily the level of the player.
Yeah, but everyone could have the same stats. Like, I'd not say Juggernaut stats, but like at least like half of the Juggernaut stats, and walk around with that at all times.
Yeah, but probably means they would have to pick up like a pickup before they would continue on with the game mode or even start with it. I don't know.
Either way,
they'll figure it out.
Yeah, it is possible though. That's like the entire premises of all of this. It is all possible. It's all in the game, and they can make it happen. And there's a lot of people crying out for it. A lot of people really liking the concept of PUBG and would love to see like a GTA version of it, especially with all the interesting DLCs we got lately. So it would be pretty cool to have something that people would actually like. Yeah,
I'm all for it. You know, I'm more for actual gameplay rather than sitting in my apartment looking at a TV that's not on. You know.
Exactly.
Like I might be speaking only for myself here, but I think that's why, in my opinion, the free mode update was the best update, because it changed the game in such a great way.
Yeah, that was I think my second favorite update. Like, we're moving away from the top, but that was my second favorite update. Like, the cutting stunts for me was always the #1 spot for me.
Yeah, like gameplay updates are the best ones, and not, you know, here's 3 new cars and the rest are gonna drip feed. You know, it's cool that we get new cars, but it's not gonna add as much gameplay as a new game mode, for example. But like this one, so you know. There's also a petition down in the description down below if you think that they make any difference. They probably won't, because I'm not really much someone that believes in petitions. But if you want to sign them and see if Rockstar notices, you know, make sure to drop a like to get the word out. I'm such a greedy motherfucker. Anyway,
yo, shall we play PUBG?
Yeah, let's go play PUBG. If you want to see the trailer, it's linked down in the description down below. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below as well. And make sure to drop a like if you enjoyed. Check out Sonny's channel. I don't know what the fuck he's doing on there, but it's something. He's calling me out on my bullshit and claiming that I not changed anything about my channel last 7 years or some shit.
Yeah, I'm just gonna go. I'm just gonna go get myself a coffee now, right? Okay, peace.
So, PUBG?
PUBG.
Okay.